In an effort to improve as storytellers ourselves, we believe it is imperative for us to study what came before us. And so today we're going to be delving into Dune Part 2 with another perfect scene. This film is written by Denis Villeneuve and John Spaihts and directed by Denis and stars Timothée Chalamet and Rebecca Ferguson. The scene we will be analyzing comes an hour into the film and is the last conversation that Paul has with his mother Jessica before she goes south.
What your people did to this world is heartbreaking.
We gave them something to hope for.
That's not hope!
This scene serves to give us a better understanding of Jessica and her daughter's goals for Paul, and it pits Paul directly against those goals. For context, Jessica wants Paul to go to the south with her to raise up the army of fanatics to start the Holy War, but Paul doesn't want that, so he is going to stay in the north. Jessica opens the scene by talking to her embryonic daughter, and then she tells Paul that he should go with them to the south. But Paul gives her a hard no. He gives her the reasoning that he must stay in the north to protect her in the south. But the embryo knows that Paul is lying. And here's where we get to the back and forth of this scene. Paul knows that if he went south, he would start the Holy War. But instead of saying that, he lies.
Because I must continue fighting in the north to protect you down there in the south.
She says she can tell when you lie.
And here's where we get the crack in the facade of his worldview. He wants to believe that he can stop the Holy War. But even though he wants to believe that, he doesn't even try to lie again. Instead, he tries to justify his actions by calling out what Jessica is doing among the Fremen.
Tell her that's because our mother keeps spreading dangerous tales.
Jessica holds back on her response because she does still have some humanity and she wants Paul to have his love. But after he asks, she bursts his bubble. He can't just be in love. He is going to have to break Shani's heart. And with that, we get this shot of Paul. He's realizing what Jessica is saying to him, and he doesn't want to believe that either.
What is she saying now?
She says you're blinded by love, and she reminds you that you must reserve your hand for the most strategic alliance.
She asks him why he doesn't believe who he is, but he believes who he has been. Not a savior, but a friend and an ally to the Fremen, which is all that he wants to believe, not what he must become if he wants his revenge to come about. Paul is still trying to be optimistic, hoping that he is making a change in the war. However, what they both know is that he can change the trajectory of the war. He can change it from a defense of Arrakis to an offensive attack against the people that are trying to control it.
I believe I'm making a difference in this war. We're nearly at the gates of the city.
That's not what she means.
I know what she means.
With all of this, Paul is trying to keep the conversation away from the Kwisatz Haderach and to something that doesn't involve genocide, the fight to free Arrakis. At this point in the film, he thinks about the Fremen not as numbers that he can throw at his enemies, but as people that matter to him. Because of course they matter to him. They've taken him in, shown him their ways, and he's in love.
Do you not think I also feel the weight of the prophecy?
It's not a prophecy.
Jessica brings the conversation back to the prophecy, which is the last thing he wants to talk about. He doesn't even give it the name of prophecy, because he might be the only one that knows what the Bene Gesserit are doing. They are using the belief of countless people to satisfy their own gains. And it's heartbreaking, because it rings true in our own world. Countless people have gone to war in the name of fabricated gods.
It's a story that you keep telling, but it's not their story, it's yours. They deserve to be led by one of their own.
And Paul puts a definitive end to the conversation. But just like every mother, Jessica has to get in the last word, which brings on another vision of his inevitable future. And that's why this is a perfect scene.
I'll be waiting for you.
All of us.